Welcome to yet another edition of Let's Talk on DNT Work. My name is Olowolayemo Sako, and as usual, we are here with special and wonderful topics. So please enjoy this ride with me as we discuss the topic today. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our social media platforms. Until then, let's have fun together.
JK Royal Signatures, a blend of African fabric.
So the topic for today is actually key characteristics of leaders and bosses. Well, I'm sure that by the time we get into the discussion proper, you'll be able to know the difference between a leader and a boss. That's what we want to do today. And my guest is no one else but Princess Temi Olowolayemo. She is the director of accounts, Ondo State Ministry of Finance, and she has many other caps that I can't actually mention right now, but you'll see that. No, all right. So please help me welcome Mrs. Princess Temi Olowolayemo. Thank you so much, ma, for coming on the show. It's nice having you again, actually.
Thank you, Dijoka. It's so nice being on this call with you this day.
Okay, have you ever had a great leader or a boss? I don't want to say a bad. At least let's look at it in both ways.
Yeah, let's start even from the positive. I think it's okay we start from the positive. Now, let me first say that leaders versus bosses is a timeless topic. Over the years, one would have realized either consciously or unconsciously that you would have seen leaders, you would have seen bosses. You might not have had direct, touch with them, but of course, in your environment, you would have observed leaders, you would have observed bosses. And I want to say that if I've been in the employ of governments in Nigeria for about 26 years, so it means that in the course of my job too, I've met leaders, I've met bosses. Yeah, I've met with both. That's the truth. But like I said, let's start with the positive because leaders are the positive. Leaders tend to inspire. They tend to empower their subordinates. They tend to look out, for potentials in the people they're leading. So they interact with the potentials in their followers, in their subordinates. They don't make people, fulfill their own desires alone. Leaders also look out for what is in it for my followers. What is in it for my subordinates? Those are leaders. Okay. Now, when we say leaders, they prioritize people and relationships. Leaders want to make a family of people that work for them or with them. They look beyond the immediate. Leaders try to emphasize collaboration and teamwork. Leaders understand the fact that a tree doesn't make a forest. So they want to collaborate, they want to do teamwork so that together we achieve more. it doesn't matter the manner of caps you wear. We're saying, jokingly that you can't begin to mention the caps I wear. It doesn't matter the caps you wear. You can't achieve anything by yourself and on your own. In life, it has been established that at various junctions in life, you need people, you need men. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'm a Christian. I want to draw one inference from the Bible. Naaman, the Bible described him as a man that had everything, but he was a leper. And do you know that he wouldn't have gotten solution to his problem, but for his maid? It was his maid in the Bible that directed him to the prophets. That what about seeing the prophets in so and so place? And he went there, and the prophets gave him, instructions, simple instruction to follow. Just go to so river, dip yourself in and come out. And no minding whether he was, a captain and all of that. He didn't mind all of that. What he did was he went on that instruction. So two things from that scenario is that leaders, they don't see themselves as all in all. For Naaman to have listened to a maid, a maid, you all know the relationship that a maid ordinarily keeps with those they serve. But Naaman kept that relationship that could allow a maid to express herself. That's a leader. A leader will allow the followers to also express their potentials. Will allow them to pour out what is in them. A leader will correct with love. A leader looks beyond immediate actions and wants to see how he can turn even that mistake into something better in the life of that follower or subordinate. Just this morning, coincidentally, I received a text from somebody that had worked with me some years back. And when I read it, I was a little bit emotional. You know what the text looks like? I don't know if you will mind me reading it out. Definitely, it's something.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I'll read it because I think in life we need to learn from every scenario that comes our way. This morning when I read it at exactly 10:23 a.m. He sent it 10:03. I read it 10:23 a.m. And he said, "Ma, my appreciation to God via you for imparting on me when I worked with you." Worked in past tense. He's not working with me now. He said, leadership is not by age or wealth, but by empowerment. He said, you saw and showcased the potential you saw in me. Some said I am a fool, but you discovered and exposed the God's given potentials in me. I will be ungrateful not to you, but to God if I didn't let you know this. He said, every day I acknowledge your impact on me. He said, I'm very grateful, ma. All is in my memory. My regards to all around you. Do have a nice and blissful weekend. The Lord is your strength. Now, why did I say let's read this? I said it because even me, when I was reading it, I tried to read in between the lines. At some point he said people called him a fool. I never knew him from Adam, but destiny brought our paths, to cross. And I had resolved within me that it doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter in the capacity I go. Anywhere I go to, I want to ensure that I impart on people. It is a resolve I've made. So by the time I read this morning, I look at it and I said, God, so you answered my prayer. You honored that prayer. Because at some point, I went to Romans 8, verse 19, and I started using it to pray to God. Because that place talks about the fact that people are waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. And for several years, I was telling God, I said, those people that will be waiting for my manifestation, do not let them wait in vain. And how do I help myself to answer that prayer? It is that when I get to any place at all, I want to see how to improve on the life of the people I meet there. And most of the time, because as we are advancing in this career, you hardly work with people that are not, lower than you one way or the other. And so I've been privileged to work with people that are almost the age of my mother, or even my father at some point in my career. And most of them, sometimes they are at a very lower level. You understand? So what it means is that you need to do something extra to be able to, get them along. Because this is Africa. I'm an African. In Africa, we respect people. In Africa, age difference matters to us. And so in African setting, working with people that are older than you, they are the ones that do things for you and things like that. If you want to correct them, you have to, be careful the way you do it. Because this is Africa. If you're in any other part of the world, maybe in the developed world where nobody cares who is old, who is young, well, it might be a little bit easier. But I can tell you that it was a conscious effort I made. That it doesn't matter who works with me. I want the person to part, having something they have benefited from our coming together. Sometimes last year, I met with a lady somewhere. It was a program I went to attend, but she worked with me, I think, about 20 years ago. And then she saw me. And she just grabbed me from behind. And I was like, who is this? And do you know what she said? She said, I've been looking around for you. Because at that time in Nigeria, there was no social media. She said, today, I am so and so in my place of work because of what you taught me. Leadership is complex. There are points as a leader where you yourself, you are confused. You don't even know the right step to take. It is the kind of relationship you are able to establish that will make those people that are working with you or for you to be able to contribute at that point. And do you know that it could surprise you that they will bring the solution? Those people that you feel, oh, this one doesn't have anything to offer. Like the case of the maid, in the case of Naaman. They will be the one that will bring the solution. I've had situations whereby I'm working on something. I don't even know how to get myself, out of a mess, things like that. And then somebody lower in grade, somebody that I should say I am a boss to, is the one that will say, let's do it this way. And then there is a solution. So when I'm talking about leadership, a leader focuses on long-term goals and sustainability, not the immediate, long-term goals and sustainability. A leader also uses influence, coaching, and development to motivate the followers. A leader uses influence, coaching, and development to motivate the followers. If I want to talk about leaders, I'll go on and on. A leader makes inclusive decisions. I've met with a leader. There's a leader in my life that till today, I will never forget. Our paths crossed in the year 2009. And that's about 15 years ago. But I observed that he took over the work of mentoring me. This man, even though he doesn't know me from a dance, the moment he met me, he said, wow, a young lady, you mean you have been a chartered accountant for how many years? And then he picked interest. And he ensured that at every junction he comes in. Sometimes last year or thereabout, I looked at it, I said, I think I will give him a name. And I said, you are my guardian angel. Because there are various junctions in my career path that has made meaningful impacts. Times he will invite me into meetings that does not concern me, and he will say, he calls me Jumoke. We say, Jumoke, dúró síbẹ̀ yẹn. Oh, gbọ́dọ̀ jókòó. Stand there, be watching me. Don't sit down so that you catch what I want you to catch in this meeting. You are not part of this meeting, but I want you to learn. And I will be watching. Because that will be a high-level meeting where I'm not supposed to be there. But my leader sees in me beyond what we are doing now. In another word, I can say leaders are seed sowers. Because they are able to, impact people, and those people are able to do better, after them. Leadership is a process. Leadership is a process. And for you to be a good leader, you must continue to renew. You must continue to renew your knowledge. You have to oil, your brain too as a leader. Because leadership is not a static thing. You have to be dynamic if you want to be a good leader.